Hello YouTube. Something I've been digging in my shop. I had stuff put away when I used to go metal detecting, which I plan on going again, and found this. I did polish just this part of blade with this emery stone. I will use some 2000 grit or whatever up here. Brass and wood. We're going to use the finest sandpaper we have to try to bring this back. If there's a few scratches, we don't care. We're not bringing it back to a mirrored finish, but I think I could save the wood. It is lifted up in a few spots. See that? We're going to try some super glue. Before we start sanding, we're going to clamp it for a few minutes and see if it will hold before we start sanding. So here we go. Let's see what happens. This will be a short video. I'll show you what sandpapers and stuff I use, though. Maybe like a few little clips like what sandpaper I use. So stay tuned. We'll see what this thing looks like. Okay, we decided to scrape this with a razor blade. We're going to take some of our shellac and spray it in like the paint can lid and brush it on with a little brush when we're done. Several times to seal this wood because it is really old and powdery. We're going to mask this before we sand this, though, so we don't put deep scratches in that. So, okay, we'll be back again for another update. Okay, we sanded this with some 220. We even took it even on the brass. We're not too particular, as long as it's clean. We won't do that rough on here. We are going to put a little wood stain on here with a little model brush. The rivets stick up a little bit, but that doesn't matter. We're just trying to save the old wood. Super glue held. I do have a picture. I spread it apart and had a sewing needle and they're kind of scraping around. See if I can get the glue to grab on something, but we'll hope for the best. Okay, a couple coats of stain and then we'll work on the brass and then we'll shellac this the very last. That way we're not making a mess of our nice finish. We'll get the brass all done. These were kind of a dark wood anyway. I'm sure it was all bleached out from laying out. How many years it laid out inside? Okay, we took 220, then 600, then 1200. We had to use 220. We can't get this stuff off. That is really tarnished. It's like a coating. Even if there's a few lines in there, when it's polished, it'll still look okay. Can have that brushed brass look. And I'm going in one direction only, the long ways. I have to still Dremel that hole out yet. This is kind of hard to get into. You got to kind of fold your sandpaper up and stuff to get in them spots. Ooh, don't crash into there. The light really blows stuff out, huh? Gonna sneak up on it. Okay, that's enough for that clip. We'll keep working. Well, it's probably not the best restoration. This brass is really junky stuff. You know, I figure I took 220 sandpaper to it to get that corrosion off. And then I took an emery stone in my Dremel. Then I took my Scotch pad and brushed it. It looks like brushed, you can do this, brushed brass. Say that 3 times. There's like 3 coats of shellac on that nasty old wood. And I had to put another coat of stain because I had the masking tape over it. It kind of draws the stain out. But the pins look kind of pinkish. I didn't get all the stain off. But yeah, it's pretty nasty. So like that pin, it looks like it's made out of copper. Like they just use whatever. You can probably buy these under $10. In fact, I was out there on Amazon last night. It's just an import. But it's one add to my little pocket knife collection. There you go. Just something past the afternoon. It's nice outside. It's not real cold, but I'm boiling a wrench for another project, so I've got it pretty warm in here. Boiling a wrench in vinegar. It really works good. So I'm going to go off and make another shot of that video. And then before I get too much on my SD card, I think I'll go into the computer and get it out of there. See where I had to put this, I kind of went over the sandpaper and I took some of the stain off, restained it, where it's kind of lighter. But it's good practice, see? That's what I figure. I've never done a pocket knife before except the Camp King, so that was just more or less, well, it was a lot of work on the rust, but thanks for watching. I'll leave you some pictures.